Maybe you've heard of red cherry shrimp, but what's a yellow shrimp? What's a black shrimp? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Will they breed? We'll add them to an aquarium coming up in this Fincast.
We feed it with our seahorses, we feed it with our flounder, any of our tropical reef fish, our live coral reefs.
Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast, and today we're working on the Aquasolum Planted Shrimp Tank project, and this is episode number 4 as we continue to watch this tank evolve. And it's really been a lot of fun. We're learning a lot along the way, and today we'll be adding some additional shrimp to the tank. Some shrimp that you probably are more familiar with or maybe have heard of, and that would be the red cherry shrimp. We've already got some Pinocchio shrimp, and episode 3 focused on adding the Pinocchio shrimp, which have a really long nose or rostrum. So now we're going to add the red cherry shrimp and also some Amano shrimp to the tank today. We'll show you how to do the acclimation project and how I did it to make sure that the shrimp get in this new home and they're very happy when they get there and they're not stressed out. There is a certain way that you need to do that. But basically what we're talking about when we talk about red cherry shrimp is the neocaridina davidi and then this variation red cherry. And when you watch these shrimp go into my tank today, you're going to be seeing some black shrimp, you'll be seeing some yellow shrimp, you'll be seeing some of the red cherry shrimp as well, and then you'll be seeing some that are sort of clear and red, and those are called really shrimp. And I probably will do another Fincast just on the different varieties, but basically these are all variations of what they call neos or neocaridina davidi. So if you have a yellow neo, what you really have is a yellow red cherry shrimp or a black red cherry shrimp. And so we'll go through that a little bit, because as you start getting into freshwater shrimp, it can be kind of confusing. But none of these would be what you would consider a crystal shrimp, which is a caridina without the neo in front. Today, we'll be adding the shrimp to this beautiful aquarium using all these new Seachem products, starting with the Aquasolum substrate. It's a clay-based substrate designed for planted tanks, creates very soft water conditions, and it's perfect for shrimp and fish that like the soft water, and the plants are doing very, very well in the tank. So here's how to add the shrimp. Of course, we have a Carlin aquarium system, so I have the opportunity to buy my shrimp wholesale, which certainly helps with the price. So these arrived in bags directly from the wholesaler. They bring them in a truck. We're on their route out of Atlanta. And these shrimp had probably been in the bag for just a little over 24 hours. I typically order on Wednesday. The shrimp arrive Thursday evening. As soon as they arrive, I go and I pull them out of the cooler. And so these shrimp arrived in a bag that they had been in these bags for 24 hours, 27 hours, somewhere along that way. Now what I want to do is this water from the warehouse stinks, and you could smell when I opened the bag that it stunk, and I don't want any of that high nitrate water to go into the aquarium. And I noticed as soon as I opened the bag that the water smelled. And this is very common for fish that have been transported from a wholesaler. They've been in the bag a long time. They do add oxygen. There's no particular stress on it, but you can tell that these shrimp have been pooing and peeping in the bag, for lack of a better, better way to describe it. And the water was stinky, so clearly the water in the aquarium is not. So you need to get the water, the pH, everything to equalize. And the best way to do that is to drip acclimate the shrimp. What do I mean by drip acclimate? Well, essentially you're going to take some airline tubing. You will create a siphon, and you'll let the water start flowing from the aquarium into a bucket with the bag water. But you don't want it to go too fast, because the acclimation process might go too quickly for the shrimp to be able to adjust. So you tie a knot in the end of the airline tubing once you have the siphon established, and then all you really have to do is just let the water drip into the bucket, and slowly the water in the aquarium and the water from the bucket get to be the same. This is very common. It's called drip acclimation. And you do it with fish all the time, do it with saltwater fish, do it with anemones, whatever. And so this is perfect for the shrimp. And I let this go on for about an hour. I have seen online where some people will go 2 hours. But what I do is I kind of watch the shrimp. I watch the water level rise. If the shrimp or whatever I'm acclimating start to look like they're being stressed, if they're hiding in the corners, laying on the side, not really moving around naturally, then I feel like there's something going on there that is stressing them out, and perhaps the water mix is going too quickly. Did not notice any of that with these shrimp after an hour, so I felt like that was the way to go. So at that point, I still don't want to just dump the bucket water back into the fish tank because I don't want that nasty bag water going in the tank. So I very carefully netted out the shrimp. In some cases, I actually poured the shrimp into a net. In other cases, I felt like, okay, I can net these by just scooping. But either way, I netted them out and slowly placed them in the new planted tank. And I could tell that this was going well because they immediately settled to the bottom and started exploring their new home. They weren't hiding in the corners, and everything went really well. Now, I got to tell you that these red cherry shrimp, these neocaridina davidi, really are beautiful. At any rate, and I also added some, I bought 2 dozen Amano shrimp, which you might be familiar with. Those are the algae-eating shrimp. Takashi Amano, who recently died, is one of the most famous planted aquarium people of all time. You've seen the Amano-style tanks, and he was the one who discovered and pioneered the use of the quote-unquote Amano shrimp to eat some of the algae that might be growing as you grow out your planted tank. So I added some of those as well using the same process. So that's how you acclimate your shrimp and add them to your new aquarium. I hope that's helpful. I gave you a little bit of background on exactly what you have when you have a yellow shrimp or a black shrimp. Basically, it's the same thing as the red cherry shrimp. It's just different. And you will note, if you read about this online at all, that if these shrimp start interbreeding, what I'm going to wind up with is some pretty ugly brown shrimp, because it'll all go back to the basic, and all of these blacks and reds and yellows have been specifically bred. In this case, I want to have a thriving population in the tank. I'm not looking for perfect red shrimp. I'm not looking for perfect black shrimp or whatever. Although if I do start to get some really ugly mixes, might decide that I want to change that up. But for now, it's a display aquarium. I'm watching how the shrimp acclimate with the Aquasolum products and the Aqua Vitro products that I'm using from Seachem. And so far, everything is going quite well. Coming up in the next Fincast, I want to show you a little bit of what I've had to do to adjust the water parameters, because the water might be just a little bit too soft for these shrimp. They might need some more minerals in the water, and it's been a little bit of a struggle, but it's been okay. So that's coming up in the next Fincast. Please click around. You'll see parts 1 through 3 of the shrimp project, and then I do a lot of Fincasts on marine topics, planted tanks, you name it, how to do it. It's all out there on Fincasters, and check out Fincasters.com as well. Thanks for watching. My name's John, and I'll see you in the next Fincast.